Hey booktubes, welcome to this week's podcast. So this week I am going to be reviewing The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Now I read this all in a day. I couldn't put it down. I physically couldn't. The premise for this book is beautiful, and the message that it puts across to the reader equally beautiful and inspiring. Like I personally struggle with mental health and dark thoughts, that sort of stuff. And this book even helped. It helped me put some of my thoughts into perspective and feelings about things like things I wish I could change, things I wish I could do differently, things I regret, the guilt I carry, like so many different, choices that you make, every single one of them throughout your life. Certain ones that you wish you could either tweak, change, or just completely just undo it, And that's what this book is all about. It is such a beautiful book. So the idea is when you die, there's this library, and each book on this library shelf is a different life that you could have led if you had chosen one thing differently. One choice was different, and it just leads you down this whole new path. And it even explains the multiverse theory, and it's not like I really totally grasp the whole wave function and the wave function collapse, all the stuff with physics and stuff like that. If you've seen my podcast on biocentrism, the multiverse theory is it is real. It's something that physicists and a lot of people are considering, and that there's value to it. There's some substance, there's some truth to it because of all the unknowns, especially what happens after death and consciousness and life. And this sums that all up in such a fantastic way, in a really tidy, bite-sized, understandable way. Like, if you're not into the nonfiction, like biocentrism side of things by Robert Lanza, that's very academic. It's a very thick read in that sense, lots of statistics and numbers and graphs and the science and the math and everything to kind of support the theories and everything that's put into the book. This is the fictional version of that, I think. And the way Matt Haig has weaved it all together is just amazing. It made me cry. This book brought me to tears more than once. In fact, you can see all the little tabs where there's either a beautiful quote or something that happens that it brought me to tears. Like, there was even some sobbing, especially towards the end. It almost acts as a mirror at times for self-reflection, and you really do. It makes you think about your life so much, and things that you could miss out on, things that you're doing that are, you're moving in the right direction, or maybe you're moving in the wrong direction, or maybe you have like a really unrealistic goal or dream that you want to be able to achieve, especially if you're later on in life too. Granted, for any of my younger viewers, I know life can seem rather vast, and there's a lot of time to fill, and you don't really know what to do with that. But to also, to my older viewers, 35, 45, 55, wherever it is you're at, the main character in this, she's 35, so it's nice for me because I'm also 35. And it just, it proves that you're never too old to make positive changes in your life, and how each of your choices has that ripple effect to those around you, and how you can improve the lives of those around you by making certain choices, whether it be for yourself or for others. It shows you that where true happiness lies, like what can be deemed like the most important in life, and what is trivial drama or unnecessary conflict, and it really breaks that down to the bare bones. And you look at yourself pretty hard while you're reading through this book, I think. There's a lot of opportunity of personal growth. And the main character in this, she has an amazing journey and goes through some fantastic, life-changing personal growth. And, she makes a decision towards the end that's, it's really intense, especially for some viewers who have struggled with mental health. There are choices along the way that the lead in this makes, and it blows you away. Some of it is so simple, and there's something shocking in some of the simplicity. Like, I had to gather myself so many times, and honestly, I've been kind of nervous about doing the review about this book because I don't think anything I say will really do it justice. I think every household should have a copy of this book, especially any households who have a member or two or know anybody who suffers with depression or mental health illness, like anything like that. Just get a copy of this book. It helps. It really does. It makes you think differently. It makes you feel differently. I'm not going to say it solves everything and makes you better, because obviously mental health is a journey. And it's not about finding a cure so much as it is finding a way to maintain and take those small steps for self-improvement and learning to love yourself again and trying to grow beyond any guilt or anger or sadness. With all of that in mind, I rated this book 5 stars. And it's not something I do lightly. As you all know, I'm pretty grueling when it comes to my star ratings. But this is a book that I will go back to time and time again. I feel that, especially on my darker days, this is one that I would pick up and read, especially where I've tabbed certain little quotes that I think honestly would help me get through a really bad day and make me feel less shit about the way I feel, or feeling less hard on myself about my mental health issues and how those issues have impacted me in my life and how it's impacted those around me, because mental health, it doesn't just attack the person who's suffering with it. It has that ripple effect, the same as decisions. And it does affect those around you. So as I said, I think every household should have a copy of this book. I really, really do. It is beautifully written. It's cleverly written. It's more than an easy read. It is a pleasure to read this book. Emotional, but so very pleasurable. Very, very much. 5 stars. And spice is next to none. So 1 chili pepper. There is some talk of suicide and stuff like that. So, a couple trigger warnings, but it's generally light. It's more about the exploration of what life can be had you have made this choice different or that choice different, and going through each book. There's not a lot of violence or anything like that. So I'd say this is suitable for anyone like aged 14 and upwards to read. And I actually think it's almost, obviously I wouldn't force anyone to read this, but I would heavily encourage a lot of people that I know to read this book. And it's definitely going to be going into some of the Christmas hampers this year, because just wow. So hats off to Matt Haig. Like, I never thought this kind of book would be my thing. Like, I remember reading Chicken Soup for the Soul back when I was a kid and a teenager and stuff, and reigniting your love of humanity and your faith in humanity. But that's not what this is. This is all about reigniting your faith in yourself. This is all about you and the choices you make, and embracing those choices one way or the other, and how that impacts and how it can grow and how it can flower and blossom into something amazing, or it can go completely the other way. It doesn't paint a pretty picture about life. It simply is about life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, all of it. So, 5-star read, 150% recommend. And it's not going anywhere. This is definitely on, I wouldn't even put it on my palette cleanser shelf. This is just always going to be on my TBR. Always. I want to reread it at least once a quarter, I think. It's just a gorgeous book. Beautiful message. Amazing author. I will definitely be giving Matt Haig's other books a read as well, because I'm totally sold on him as an author. This book has done it for me. And this thing at the bottom here, it's by The Guardian. It says, a celebration of life's possibilities. And that does sum it up so very beautifully. And with that, my darlings, I hope you have an awesome weekend. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, like, share. These are free ways you can support me and my channel, because I upload content like this every single week. And much love to you all. And for any of you who do struggle with mental health, please do pick up this book and give it a read, please. Have an awesome weekend, guys. I love you. Much love.